With all the current troubles in the world and coming in local to home, many Americans and many people all over the world are trying to prepare to when things really hit the fan. Today we're going to go over and start a video on processing a 5-pound bag of potatoes for mashed potatoes with spinach, 1 pound of spinach that we will freeze. We'll prepare, we'll freeze, and then in a later video we will freeze dry, and this way we can have food stored for a later date. We'll show you how to do this video as well as many different meat preparations and other vegetables. So come along with us as we go over and prepare simply and have food in our own storage so we don't have to go to the store if things get really troubled. We have washed and cleaned 5 pounds of potatoes, and now we're going to peel them. So we take our potatoes. I know you don't need me to show you how to peel a potato, but I'll do one. And we'll peel our potatoes. We like a little bit of skin left on the potato in our mashed potatoes. Okay, now that we peeled our potato, we're going to put it in the water, and I'm going to give it over to Laura, and she's going to cut it while I continue to peel the rest of the potato. And now Laura is cutting all the potatoes and putting them into the water.
And we're done.
Nice into cold water. Always put your potatoes into cold water. Don't cook them in hot water. And now Laura will bring it to the stove, and we'll get ready for the next step. Now we're going to prepare 2 boxes. They're 10 ounce each of great value chopped spinach. And it's just spinach. So Laura's going to open that up, and she's going to put it in with this one, which we have the water now heated. Okay, it's now been 10 minutes in boiling water. The spinach is ready. We turned off the heat, and the potatoes Laura's going to test. Oops.
Just a couple of minutes. They'll be easier to mash.
Very good. Now that the spinach is ready, Laura's going to put them into a colander with a towel, and she's going to get all the water off. So very simple, 10 minutes on the stove.
And a little salted water.
And you do a little of this work one time and you have it for many nights, and especially the way things are going, you have it in storage for that rainy day that we hope never comes. But better be hopeful for the best, but prepared for the worst.
Let it sit because it's too hot to squeeze. We're going to squeeze all the water out.
So we added another 2 minutes to the potatoes to make sure that they're soft enough for mashing, and it's about 12 minutes, and now Laura's going to take them and she's going to put them into another strainer. We move the spinach to a smaller strainer with the towel and letting that drain, and now you can see the steam coming off of the potatoes as Laura shakes them dry. And she'll clean out the bowl, and we'll be ready in a minute or so to start. Alrighty, now that the potatoes have drained, Laura's going to go over and pop them into a big pot.
And let the mashing begin.
It's good having a strong, beautiful wife. I love her so much.
I'm old school. They have all these fancy gadgets. I like to do everything by hand.
we tried a potato ricer. The regular ones that are not expensive fall apart. We tried ricing, and they just went over and fell apart. Right back to Amazon. That's all you need.
Okay. We'll add some butter. our fresh homemade butter. I just need a spoon.
Look at that beautiful butter.
Oh, nice cold butter. It's cold. I probably should have taken it out earlier. Think that's enough?
That should be one more little half.
One more?
Yeah, we got a lot of potatoes.
Okay.
Like the great Jean Pierre would say, nothing's better than butter.
Never have too much butter.
That's my girl. And work it, baby.
That's it.
Everyone wants to have everything fast, fast, fast. Fast food, fast delivery, fast this, fast that. Little bit of work, you get the best food going.
A little full
Tom will eat that when it cools off.
Okay, we're going to add some sour cream. Got a lot of potatoes here, so we'll just finish this off. It's not that much.
5 pounds of potatoes.
And the rest we're going to stir in a little bit of mustard.
French's. Grey Poupon is a little bit too heavy for potatoes, but
A little bit.
use what you like.
A little bit of dill.
Yeah, quite a bit of dill.
Okay.
We love dill, and we grow our own dill. Soon we'll have our own dill in the shaker.
Tiny bit of milk just to cream them up. And could always add more. Whoops. And a nice spoon.
And creaming up those potatoes.
Gonna need some salt and pepper to taste. I like my potatoes salty, so we'll add that in later. Could use a little bit more milk.
Okay.
That should be enough. Yeah, okay.
And our recipes are made to be easy, and you adjust them for your own taste. Some like a little bit extra pepper, and we'll put some pepper in there in a bit, and some salt.
Let's see. Well, that's hot.
Careful.
Okay, we're getting there. Just a drop more. Okay. And now we're just going to squeeze out the spinach, and we're going to add our spinach.
See you in a minute. Now that the potatoes are mashed, we're trying something new. Because I have asbestos fingers and hands, I go over and squeeze out the extra water from the spinach. But we just got a new salad spinner, and we're going to give that a try. Now we're trying our new salad spinner to go over to get the water out of the spinach. Couple of good pumps. And let's take a look. Getting there. Move it around. Put the top on again, hold it down. About 5-10 pumps. And hold the top down. And we have nice dried spinach, and we'll put it into the mashed potatoes and finish them off. Now we're going to put the spinach into the mashed potatoes. Much easier than squeezing them out of a towel, though you can pull them out of the towel. Just, I would suggest you start the mashed potatoes early, and this way when you strain them they have a chance to cool, and this way you can go over and squeeze them with a towel. But don't try to squeeze them with the towel right when they come out, because you'll burn yourself. And there's all the water that we got from squeezing out. Now that we have the spinach in the mashed potatoes, we're taking a long, thick fork. You can use any kind of fork, and we'll incorporate the spinach into the mashed potatoes. So, peel the spinach around, lift up some of the mashed potatoes, and incorporate them in. And in a few minutes, we'll have it all incorporated. Why spend the same amount of time to do 2 or 3 potatoes to make mashed potatoes? Do the whole bag. This way you have it all for you ready. We'll show you how to freeze them. And for those that have invested in a freeze dryer, we'll show you how to freeze dry them. And freezing, you can keep this for a year, probably more. Freeze drying anywhere from 20 to 25 years. And if you take a look online and see how much it is to go over to buy freeze dried food for your family for a couple of months, you'll go over and you'll spend $5,000–6,000. So the investment into a freeze dryer will pay itself off like ours did, and you'll be having long-term food that you can go over and use in case of any kind of emergency. If you're just freezing it, what we like to do before we got our freeze dryer is you set up 3 months of food in the freezer, and then you start to rotate. You take what you've made, the same thing with canning. We did canning as well, which is good for about a year, year and a half. We have a pressure canner, but nothing's like really freeze drying. We do most of that. But if you can, or if you set up a freezer, after about 3 months of accumulation of food, start using some of the food out of the freezer or the canning, and then do it again and replace. So make another batch, take an older batch out of the freezer or your canning, enjoy it, it'll be fresh and delicious, and then replace it. If you have a freeze dryer, we'll show you how. Anytime you want to have a 15-minute dinner, we just take it right out of our mason jars that are vacuum sealed. And this way you go over and you take your ingredients. We do freeze-dried steak, we do freeze-dried chicken, we do freeze-dried turkey. Our freeze-dried turkey you'll be seeing soon in another upcoming video comes out of the freeze dryer and can be months old, years old, and we reconstitute it and take freeze-dried bone broth that we make, and we make our gravy, and you'd swear I just made that fresh out of the oven earlier that day. So here we have our potatoes coming together with the spinach, and I'll continue to work on that a little bit longer, and then we'll show you how we bag it up and set it for freezing. And then in addition, we'll show you how we set it up for freeze drying. So Come back soon. So now that our mashed potatoes have cooled, we zeroed out on my old triple beam. It's about 40, 50 years old. Laura uses it for baking. We use it to measure. And we're going to go over and weigh out a bowl full and see how much that weighs, and then we'll put the initial amount into a small Ziploc bag, and then we're going to also pack up large Ziploc bags. So now we're going to fill a bowl that would be approximately dinner for two as a nice side dish. But with mashed potatoes like this, you could go and use them to thicken up some soup that you make and make it a creamy soup. We've done that, and others. Give it one more scoop, and then we'll weigh it out. So here we have approximately a bowl full of our beautiful mashed potatoes with spinach. And now we'll weigh it out.
Just these 3 pieces, right? Yeah.
Okay. So okay, so it's over 500 grams. We're going to take our 500 gram weight, put that on, and it's heavier than 6. So 600. $609 grams. So here we bagged up the 609 grams of potatoes, mashed potatoes with spinach and sour cream and milk and butter, and it's beautiful. And we'll squeeze the air out. And then close up our bag. Now what I like to do is I like to flatten them out, bend the end in so you don't get to the Ziploc, and just with your fingers and your hands, just move it through so you have a nice flat package to put in the freezer. Now we'll make some large bags. Next batch, 622. And we'll put that in a large Ziploc. We'll prepare our third batch. Flip it over. Take our bowl away. And this one. 590. Just shy of 600 grams. So we'll take the 600 approximate grams, and we'll pop them right into the Ziploc bag as well. We have 622 and 600. And we'll finish up with the remainder of our mashed potatoes with spinach and all the goodies. Clean off the sides. We'll get ready to weigh it. Flip it over. Remove the bowl. Pop it on the scale. And we have 500 and 536 and a half grams. Okay. So now we're going to finish up the second small sandwich freezer bag. Tap that down and release the last of the potato. Open it up, partially seal, smack it down, squeeze the air out. Things stay much better with less air. We have a vacuum sealer that we vacuum seal everything if we're going to put it into the freezer for a while. Again, flip the end down and push the mashed potatoes flat. Take our marking pen, 536 and a half. 536 mashed potato and spinach. And it's 8/15/2024. So we have a total of 2,448 grams of mashed potatoes and spinach, all prepared and ready to go. Divided by 454, which is a pound, we have approximately 5.4 pounds of ready to go mashed potatoes. Now these are nice and flat. You can put them into the freezer and get them nicely frozen. If you have them in the big bag, all you have to go over to do is cut the portion that you want. In the smaller bags, you have approximately for 2 people. If you want a smaller serving, you may have enough for 4, depending upon what size that you put on the vegetables and meat that you put on the side. And this way you have them up and ready to go anytime that there's an emergency. If you want to make soup and thicken up soup, it's perfect to pop into soup. Perfect with your meat dishes. So stay tuned. We'll be coming back soon when we do the freeze drying technique. My suggestion is, if you have a vacuum sealer like we do, vacuum seal your potatoes for long-term storage for a year or 2 years in the freezer. Vacuum sealed to last longer. In the Ziploc bags, I would say you got a good year, maybe possibly more. So rotate your stock. This way you always have it. And with that, thank you both mostly for tuning in. If you like our content, please hit the subscribe button and give us a like. And we'll have much more videos coming soon. So have a wonderful, pleasant day.